Hello, welcome, I'm live. I'm just going to wait a few minutes till I start seeing individuals coming in. So, for those of you who are here, this is what you would call a sunset kind of piece of artwork. And we've got a surfer who will be in silhouette. So it's very basic, but it will be an interesting image to take a look at. So obviously I've got it all drawn up and I've made sure the scale were reasonably accurate. I'm no expert on surfing, so I don't know what that kind of surfboard is, but it's mostly in silhouette that anyway. We've got a sun that's got a little bit of cloud in this area, and then that then fades into the distant landscape, which will be fairly muted, and then we've got a sea area there that then turns into the sand, and all of that is affected by this sun here. So, and obviously the person's in silhouette, and there's a small amount of shadow coming directly from there. So let's have a look at getting on with this, shall we? What I will do, I'll show you me paints that I'm using today. These are my white nights. The one at key colours will be this one, Indian yellow. There will be some burnt umbers and browns in amongst that, but we're looking at that goldy yellow colour today, really. So that's my palette. The brushes that Artful Dabbler, nice to see you. I'm just doing a quick demo painting, so these are going to be my brushes of choice. I'm not sure as to whether I'll be using that detail brush, but this will be for my washing over, and this one will be for more detailed work. Not that there's very much detail in it, but that's it. So I might as well make a start, being as I've got people here now. So the first thing I want to do is using that Indian yellow. I want to get a nice glow of yellow in the sky, but I'm going to do that really wet, and that's going to go everywhere, even to the outer edge of what I'm considering to be the sun, and I'm going to go over the actual person as well. It don't really matter that, and that's going to go right down. I just want to avoid slight areas, and try and slightly vary the amount of paint that you're putting on at any one time. So slightly stronger, slightly weaker here and there. So you've got a bit of variation, and I'm gonna. That's your main key area of sun. But what I am going to do is, while it's in that kind of situation, I'm going to soften the outer edge of that. And there will be areas there that will be a lot less. Are you getting on, Artful Dabbler? Are you having a nice day? Just thought I'd come on and do a quick-ish video. So that needs to dry now, and that's the problem with live videos. We have to wait for the inevitable drying process. But I have got my dryer. I wouldn't normally do this if I were doing a normal painting. I prefer to leave it to dry naturally. But being as we're live at the moment. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, apparently we're going to have a nice day today, and that weekend's going to go really cold. So don't put your summer clothing out at the moment, because it's going to get cold again. So I'm just going to mute this, if I know how to do it, and then I'll be back in a second once I've dried this off. Low grayscale. Sorry about that. Because time is limited, we have to use the heat tool. So what we're doing, we've just got a very light yellow, and this here is the sun. So I'm going to try and keep that as white as I possibly can with other areas around here. And now we need to start building up and up with it as best we can. So I'm going to do exactly the same again, but I'm going to have a stronger solution of paint this time. And maybe I might add a teeny weeny bit of brown in it, just to get that extra edge. And where it's going to be darkest is farthest away from the light source, so I'm going to make it quite splodgy there. Let's see if we can encourage some sort of bloom in there, if I possibly can. Again, a generous coating. Let's get some more brown in that. And it's really simple watercolor, this, because literally you just put in coats the same colour over it. And I'm putting little bits of burnt umber in that, because this area here, round here, is... Hi Gracie, nice to see you. Is much darker than round there. I'm gonna tiny flecks of it round there, and then because the sun is coming down here, it's having an effect on the background landscape. So that's also going to have a certain amount of issues to deal with. And then almost dry brush that. And again, it's a matter of me now in saying that, I think I can get some of the other brown tones in, and a bit more. And this area here is going to have a bit of goldiness there. Always remembering that area where the strongest light is going to have it's going to be nipped down a bit colour wise. It's being burnt out. And just pull that in like that. Starting to form now, this, hopefully. Eventually we'll get to a stage where we can really start softening a lot of areas and doing some better blending like that. So I'm going to dry this off again. How you all doing? Are you all in a safe place? I would imagine. For just a second. I'll mute myself for a minute or so. Hey Riri, it's nice to see you here. It's a bit early for you guys over in the US, but it's really nice that you can be here. What I want to start concentrating on now is the background landscape. There's a bit of an hill and almost like mountainous area in the background. So what I'm going to do is, because to some extent that's complete the sky. I don't want to be faffing about too much with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building that up, and again we're going to use that Indian yellow which is absolutely great for this kind of yellow sunset kind of feel, and a bit of burnt umber. Just add it, give it a bit more bite, and I'm going to start modelling that out. And there it is, the landscape. And I'm like blobbing it on, because although the although it's like a solid mass, it seems to have an area where, just tease that a little bit, just a little bit, just to make sure that you know that it's one mass of something. It's just that it's got the sun itself is burning it out, so you can't see it as strongly as you would do, right? And then the other side, we can take a few more liberties with that. We can be a bit heavier. Hiya, Chrissy. It's nice to see you. Just doing a quick impromptu live session. A surfer dudette, if you want to call it that. So that side I will, and I'm using like a burnt umber kind of colour, will make darker than this side of this hill, because obviously the sun's shining on that there. So what I've got to do from here on is just let that, a little bit of that bleed into that, and then come down like that. Now you don't see that after that, because your surfboard actually gets in the way. But we'll I don't want it to be too contrasty, because it is in the distance and you're not going to see that much difference in contrast. A little bit there, and again that's ready to be dried, and maybe a few more lines. Keep putting these lines in every time you do a drying layer. Odd bit here and there like that. Thank you all. Nice for you to be here. I'm gonna dry this again, so I'll mute you just a second. Right, we're making good progress. I want to start moving down to a more detailed brush now, and we'll start blocking in the lady. So we'll make a start with getting a strong a strong yellow in, just to make sure we've got some blocking in. Certain areas of the, even though it's a silhouette and a shadow to some extent, will still have light areas bleeding into it, and it's important to try and express that if you possibly can, rather than it just being an area of darkness. So you just have to find where these things are. Might be like there, maybe. And then we'll move on to making some darker areas once we've got it blocked in. And just to ground it, I'm going to put that little line there. We can work on that in a bit, and that will be an actual coming down here, although you don't see too much of it. That will be a long silhouette, not a silhouette, a shadow. Hello, Muffy Kate. So while that's still in a environment of wetness, we're gonna block in some darker area yet again, but this time I'm gonna put a little bit of blue in it and make it. So I'm using that Indian yellow, a bit of burnt umber, and a bit of your favourite blue, and that makes it much more darker, avoiding the left side as much as you possibly can. Just going to put a very thin line there first, and then the face as well at this right side. I'm going to keep away as much as I can from the edge, and then leave that like that. Now I've made a mess of that. I didn't want that to go down there. You go. Because the surfboard is a slightly different colour to the values that I'm getting off of the skin of the person. So, and I'm going to leave that edge there, the left edge of the arm. I'm trying to do it as thinly as I possibly can. And then this will be quite a bit in shadow. And then again, that left edge. Then that comes down like that. Round and round again. And you're starting to get the shape of the person there. So while we've got this deep colour, there's a bit of a wave here, and I want to try and do this a little bit dry brush if I can. And as we've done with Riri, no, I didn't. But I mean, she's due on in about an hour. I'm not going to be that long, and I'm sure she's busy getting herself prepared. So I didn't know. I just wanted to come on because I keep promising people that I'd do a live stream, and I never get around to it because I'm doing that many other things. I'm going to follow on from there. I'm not going to be that much longer on here anyway with this. So see if we can get some more detail. A bit of blue. Get some water on my actual brush. And this is where we get some even more stronger let that come in a tiny little bit into that. And right, let's see what we can do about this board. I'm going to make it slightly orange. And then differentiates itself from the thing itself, the person itself. I still want it to be slightly dark and silhouetted. Because in theory it's a silhouette, that. Although you do see some values. So let's continue on darkening that. That's a dark area. Hope people are enjoying this. It's an early morning start to a creative day, which is always nice. And really, just as a demo and whatever you like that, there ain't that much else I can really show you with this. We do a little bit of maybe soften off some of these lines. Bring a little bit here as well. Work that a little bit, and again softening off some of these lines. Let's see if we can. Just want to make the sky a little bit more atmospheric, so I'm going to get some blue with a little bit of burnt umber, and at this end here I'm just going to add a bit of blue, but I do want that to be very heavily softened. Really don't want any edges with that. That might dry with a little bit of an edge, but we can get rid of that. little bit of residual stuff coming round to it, and then I don't think we're that far off from being finished. I just want to get some darker areas in there, like that. And this is a stage where you've got to start thinking, am I overworking it? Well, the answer to that is, that's up to you. So, and you know what? Just as a demo, I think we're almost virtually done. There is one more thing I want to do. I want to bring some absolutely clean water in. Absolutely clean. Genuine Yorkshire tap water. And I'm going to soften this edge round the sun, the supposed sun anyway. And that should have like a gradation of colour, hopefully, once we've done. Let me also see if I can soften that area as well, just to make sure that you understand that that's being affected by the sun burning the colour out. Like that. And do you know what? I think I'll call that a day. Really? That's the painting. Hey John. That's the painting basically done as a light reference image, and that's it. You know, it's not what you would call a totally finished and completed painting. It's just a bit of practice work, and just to show you guys how I go about doing various forms of sunsets and atmospheric types of work. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you do, I'll leave a comment, and please click the like button. It's absolutely free, all that sort of stuff. You don't get charged or anything. And it'll encourage me to do more of these lives on occasions. So I'll thank you all for. Hiya, Bruce. You're just about to see me say goodbye to you all. So I will say goodbye now. It's just a quick demo. I'm fairly happy at this stage that that's pretty much done to what I want. And stay safe, enjoy your day, do something creative, and we'll see you the next time that I go live or on another video that I've edited. Bye for now.